Hello everybody, I'm here to talk about the RoryTory stove that I have. Comes in a nice little mesh bag, which I also wrap it in a bandana also to keep in my kit. Have some gas or alcohol tabs, work pretty good for it if you use them that way. Set this over here. This did not come with it, I added that on. Pretty simple little kit. It comes with a little alcohol burner stove, or dish for the alcohol tabs. It's a gasifier stove. See, it's got a place where you can keep loading it here. I like to keep this under it. It catches all the ash, keeps it from really burning anything underneath of it. Pretty simple stove to use. You just kind of load her full of wood. Don't have any really good cedar, really fire it off quick, but I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use one of the alcohol tabs in here, which will get it burning pretty quick. If you don't know about these things, they're quite handy. Let's see, I know I got a lighter here somewhere. Here we go. You just hit them with a lighter. Usually they start a little faster than that, so I can't tell, but it is burning. I'm just going to drop it in there. It's kind of a weird stove, since you load it first and then light it from the top. This pan actually sits in this top section, like this, so you can actually use it just with this part. You don't have to use the wood. Personally, I like the wood. Top on it here, this back. They call these Twig stoves. Lots of good twigs here on this tree that's dying. But basically, you can just keep feeding it. I've had this a couple of years now. I've been really impressed with how well it does. It will smoke a little till it gets going good. And then I'll show you inside the gasifier part of this once we get it going here. And then I'll also show you how fast it'll boil up a couple cups of water too, because that is pretty impressive. When you're out camping and you don't really want to have a big fire, or you're just on a short backpacking trip, it's really nice. It's kind of heavy, not super heavy. This is stainless steel, but overall the kit's pretty small, pretty light. And like always, I make a mess. Oh, that alcohol tab in here, it won't go out. Most times I'll just start it regular, like I do a regular fire, flint and steel, and throw my little bundle right on top of this, and burns pretty good. This will start going pretty good. Most of the little chunks I just threw in there are oak and stuff like that, hardwoods. But yeah, got a liter here. I don't know, let's pour about half of it in. We'll wait till it gets going, then we'll put it on there. It does take pretty small chunks of wood. This is preferred size. Once it gets going good and it's burned down a little bit, I'll use a little longer chunks, which I split up a bunch with my knife and my baton. No big deal. It is kind of weird. First got it, I try put my fire bundle on the bottom and then loading all the wood on it. Well, if you're just loading all these little twigs, it works really good. But I found out later on that the best way to do this is actually put the wood in the bottom of it and then start your fire on the top. Because the way this thing works is it sucks it down in and comes up through the double walls in here. Which I'll show you once it gets going. I'll show you how that all works. It's pretty nifty. And yeah, I got it on this thing so I don't burn my little table here. It'll take a minute. And if you never use these alcohol tabs, one of these dishes with just that top, 2 of these tabs, boil 2 cups of water, no problem. Each tab cooks for about 9 minutes. They're not super hot, but they will work. And you're in a really bad situation, it's wet out, stuff like that. That's why I always keep these with it, just in case. Because I can always throw them in here. It won't be an issue. But yeah, even when the pot's on here, you can still throw stuff in through the side. It's kind of handy. I've used it quite a bit. Most of the time anymore I use my gas stove, but because the gas stove is, you know, quick, simple. This is a little more fun. You got fire. It's pretty safe. Doesn't throw sparks out. Like I said, it burns almost everything in here. It'll burn it all down to ash quite efficiently. So the only thing will be down in the tray at the end will be ash. But like I say, it's been raining out here, been cold. So the wood's all, this is just stuff out of the shop, so it is still a little damp. It's taking its time getting going. Usually it's raging by now. I've used this in the winter months, in severe cold, and just like any other wood fire, it'll burn just fine. Where your gas stoves, they'll get too cold, they won't want to work. I've seen a lot of people, they'll go camping and they'll sleep with their butane in their bags with them, keep it warm, which works really well. But yes, it's taking its time. What it does is it sucks the oxygen through the holes down here, through the wood, and then it actually comes back down through this section, which is double walled, and it burns, and then eventually it becomes like a regular burner. It basically burns the gas that comes off the wood also, so it's really efficient. I've enjoyed it. I put the water on now, but it's not going yet. So let me turn the camera off for a few minutes here, let this get going, and I'll come back. Give you a little bit of a close-up of it going in there. Everybody loves fire for sure. Once it burns down, in the sides here, see if I can show you without burning my fingers here. Yeah, it's not that hot. In the sides and around the ring, you can see holes. And once it gets really burning, the flames will be coming out of those holes instead of the center of the stove. I got this on Amazon in January, a couple of years ago. It's called a RoryTory. RoryTory. I always get that wrong, mixed up. I got it for $12 on Amazon. It's a knockoff of the Solo stove. For the price, I've been very, very impressed. It works really well. Yeah, let's give it a few more minutes here. It'll get going. It does take a bit before the fire starts burning down into it to actually activate the burners on the sides, but I'll show you that when it gets going. Alright, I let her go a little long, but she's ripping pretty good now. And I'll show you the inside here real quick. You can see the flames are starting to shoot out of the holes on the side. It's getting there. But yeah, definitely good enough to cook on. So I'll take a little bit of water. Just throw it on there. I'm using this old pan because it is wood fire. Even though it does burn pretty clean, it will blacken the pot. As you can see, I've used this one many times on this stove. And mostly when I go camping, it's the dog's water dish, but yeah, a couple minutes, we'll have boiling water, no problem. And as you're going along, easy enough to just slide pieces in, keep the fire going. And look down in the bottom, kind of see a glow down in there, but it's just mostly ash, and whatever little bit can actually drop through the pan, in the bottom of the stove. It's got pretty good size holes. They're like 1/2 inch. Quite efficient. You can see a little bit of smoke coming off of it because I just threw in that fresh wood, but eventually it'll just clean right up, won't smoke at all. I think a couple of the pieces I had, because this is scraps from the shop, probably had a little bit of glue on them too. I can smell it. That, and I can smell the pitch from the twigs that I threw in there. But yeah, all you got to do is break twigs off a tree. As long as they're dry, you can keep this thing going. It is kind of high maintenance for a stove. You got to keep feeding it, and this thing will eat. Yeah, now it's starting to burn from all the sides and not so much from the center. But I can already see steam in the water. So it'll be a raging boil here in a couple minutes at the most. And that's a 1/2 liter there, which I don't know what that is in cups anymore. Never pay attention. Probably says on the jar here it's 1 quart, so 1/2 quart's what, 4 cups, 2 cups, I don't know. I've always been bad about measuring and conversions. You can hear it sizzling, the water on the sides. We should be in a rapid boil here at any time. Quite effective. I like it. When you don't have time for a big fire, this thing's quite nice. So you can still have a fire. I mean, when the water's done and your meal's done, you can sit here and just keep feeding it and have a nice little tiny pit fire, basically. The RoryTory $12 stove. Been quite impressed with it. I'm glad I put the little tin underneath there to catch the ash, though. First time I used this, I used it on my wood table, and it left a nice burn mark, nice circle burn mark on my table, which I can show you here. My table's folded up, leaning up. It burned it quite nice. After that, I like my little aluminum shield I got here for cooking anyway. Usually I do it inside there. But there you go. We got severely rapid boiling water in no time flat. Take this off here because I'm not using the water. I just wanted to show you that it worked pretty fast. I'll pull the top back off here and stir it up a little bit here. As long as the wood's below the holes, it gasifies better coming out from the sides. Yeah, I figured I'd give you guys a good look at this thing, how it works, and it works good for sure. And like I said, it does work with the dish and the alcohol tabs inside that. You don't even have to use the stove itself. You can just use this sitting there and cook off this easy enough with the alcohol tabs, which is pretty nice. A little piece of wood stuck to it. There we go. But yeah, I'll come back when it's burnt down and I'll show you what's left in the bottom of this thing, which is pretty impressive. Okay, I let it burn down. So not much left in there. one nugget there. I'm just going to set this all apart so you can see that it's almost completely ash. Another couple minutes, those last little chunks will be gone. Yeah, not a bad little stove. It's, you know, 4 pieces. No, 5 if you include the little dish for that. For the $12 I paid for this, it's been absolutely grand. Every time I've used it, it's worked perfect. Yeah, I just checked Amazon. It was $12.95 I paid for this in January of 2019, and it is no longer available, which is too bad, because it's quite efficient. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of video. I know it's kind of short for me, but hey, next week I'll be heading to the mountains again for my November trip. It'll be a birthday trip. I'm hoping to do some cast iron bread making and some more cooking style stuff, but hope everybody has a good week this week, and this should be posted Tuesday, what I'm hoping. And thanks for watching.